Welcome everyone. Process management and improvement. Let us understand what is been meant by process management thereby. So we'll talk about exactly what is being given by the wisdom of Texas Instrument. Texas Instrument is a very famous company back in USA. They say is unless you change the process, why would you expect different result to change? In fact, that is true. You need to change your process and then only result will change. Otherwise not. So let us understand the scope of process management with this. We need to understand process management is nothing but planning and administrating activities. Activities such as designing of a product, designing of a workflow, control of the process flow, improvement, increment, total quality management, necessary to require or achieve high level of performance. Now that is what process management is all about. It's a planned activities. It is a step-by-step activities. It can be documented, and we are talking about nothing but designing, controlling, and improvement thereby. So four types of key processes there are. We are talking about design process, production, delivery process, support process, and supplier process per se. So yes, we will be talking about design process. We will be talking about the production, the support, and the supplier thereof. Let me revisit the AT&T's process of management principles. And what do they say? They say we need to have an end-to-end focuses. We have to understand end-to-end process of everything, and we need to focus on them. Every aspects of the process needs to be a certain mindset of preventions and continuous improvement. Did I say about marginal improvement, incremental improvement every now and then? Everyone needs to manage the process at one capacity or the other, at some level or the other, be it a supplier, be it a customer. If you think things are not coming up in a proper expected outcome, you should notify or flag the event immediately. Customer needs to drive the process. Yes, they should be telling if they are being served with inferior services or poor quality of product. Corrective action needs to be taken then and there. Process simplification and reduce error. Now, what we are looking for process simplification thereby, that needs to be understood time and again. So let us understand the control event thereby. How do we go approximate it? See, on x-axis, if we plot the time factors, and you will look into it, how control processes have been plotted on the y-axis. Now, this is the production or the flow production and the optimum level that goes around it. Now, this is the parameter that has been set about, let's say, the time of consumption, or which has been controlled, and probably we like to come to a next level of improvement. Now, if you see, there is a variability as far the product is concerned. You see, there is high frequency changes. Absolutely, it's an out of control thing, and there it goes beyond the limit, which is not accepted at all. Now, how do we mitigate such kind of process and come to a down level where there it can be the production of any industrial product that we are looking into it within the limited scope of steps, process, and management per se. Maybe we are managing the sound level, maybe we are managing the quality level, maybe we are managing the quantity of production that we are going to go around, and less amount of pilferages. So yes, this was the standard which was being observed, and probably we are looking at a new standard that comes around it. So you see the new zones of control has come down, and probably over a period of time we are going to only reduce these standards or pilferages or vestiges or probably absolute the audio versions altogether. So leading practices, let us understand what are the leading practices thereby. We need to understand the customer requirement, the internal capabilities of the firms, of the product design or the service design. If there is a match between the requirements and the internal capabilities. Now this is to be identified early in the process. Ensure that the quality has been built around the product or the services which are appropriate tools during the development. This will ensure the raw materials has to be of optimum level of the stated qualities, and then only you can expect a fine quality end product or fine quality services at the end of the process thereby. So yes, we have to understand the customer requirement, we have to understand the internal capabilities, we have to ensure that the raw materials are stated as been mentioned, managing the development process to enhance communication, to reduce time, to ensure quality is the leading practices thereby, and definitely whatever we are doing it can be documented. Can we manage those important deliveries and support processes every now and then because they become a ready reference in future cases. So the practices as for the leading goes around it. Now we'll talk about performance requirement of suppliers, ensure that they have been met and an optimal level. So daily performance requirements, yes, we are saying so. Controlling the quality and operational performance of key process, use of systematic methods to identify variation, determine root causes and make corrections thereof. This is what we are looking forward to. Continuously improving process to achieve better quality, cycle time, and overall operational performances levels with the passage. That is what we are looking forward to. Yes, we need to innovate, we need to marginalizely improve our process, we need to incrementally refine our concepts altogether through the performances has to be benchmarked and re-engineered from time to time. This is what the leading practice is all about. Let us understand the product development program and how does it comes across. There we have the traditional approach is designing the products. We are talking about making the product. We are talking about selling the product. We are talking about everything within the traditional, as in what product we are designing, producing, and probably ensuring that the product that we are producing and making, we are selling it out. But Deming approach is completely different. It is all quality based around it. So we first have to design the product and probably make it with an appropriate test so that the product is identical every time that it's been produced. Put it into the market, test market it altogether, conduct a customer research as to what is the feedback with respect to the product. Before launching the actual product, can we redesign the improvement based on the customer feedback? So Deming product is all about designing the product, making the product with appropriate taste. Probably even if we want to go around it, the first two steps might be identical, but then it comes changes altogether. We put into the markets, conduct the consumer research, redesign with an improvement as the case might be. This is what has been telling it around. So, yes, the product development process, as the case might be, we are talking about idea generations. It comes from idea generations to a concept development. We talk about the product and process design, full scale production, and product introduction. This is how we are talking around. Last but not the least would be a market evaluation as well whether the product is being received well by the market. Started from idea generation factors, went into a concept development, were into a lab for process development, product development, design, full scale production happened. And after the product has been introduced in the market, probably a feedback has been solicited so that things can be kept on improving. So quality engineering is something that we need to understand. We are talking about system design, functional performances as the case might be. We are talking about parameter design, nominal dimensions. With the passage of time, we need to ensure what we are looking forward to it. Tolerance design is all about a particular machine, a particular equipment, a particular product. What are the tolerance levels? There might be plus minus 2%, plus minus 3%, or should I say that at Six Sigma level, it should be pertaining to. We are talking about the loss function. Now, let us understand the nominal tolerance. Now, this is what the nominal tolerance is all about. It beyond that would be all losses. If we go beyond this nominal tolerance level, it is all losses for the company. So we should look into the traditional views. See the traditional view, it is absolutely fantastically proven and it has been in a black and white measurement. So we have something called a no loss zone and then absolute loss zone. So we produce less, we are in loss making. We are producing more, we are in the economic order quantity or economies of scales kick in. We are profitable, but we produce more than a limit. Probably again we go into the marginal cost increases and it but doesn't become viable. This was the traditional method as the case might be, but the Taguchi's methods is the other way around, wherein we are exceeding the concepts of improving altogether as well as the nominal tolerance level is all about it. Taguchi's loss function, if you look into it, loss is a function of x as a direct relation to x minus the ton which has been produced. Example being specification like zero point 0.5 plus minus 0.02% or 2%. This is what the specification is all about it. So failure outside the tolerance range cost $50 to repair. Thus, $50 is equal to a functions of 0.2%. This is the square that comes around it. X minus 2 is what we are looking into it. So solving for Taguchi's yields around 125,000 units. The loss function remains 125,000 times x minus zero point 0.5 the whole square. So expected loss is where the deviation occurs from the target. This is the Taguchi's loss function as a definition goes by it. Let us understand the design objective. Yes, we have cost involving with the cost, with the manufacturing, with the qualities, with the public concerns as the case might be. We're talking about tools and approaches. We are talking about designs and manufacturability, designs for environment as the case might be, streamlining of the product development, competitive needs for rapid product development, concurrent engineering, a process in which all major functions involved with bringing of a product to a market and are continuously involved with the product development from conceptions to sales. This is what we are looking around it. So we are talking product development, streamlining it and keep on upgrading it incrementally, although, but over a period of time, a process in which all major functions involved in bringing the product to the market are continuously involved in product development, are continuously involved throughout the whole stages of conception through sales as the case might be. Yes, the house of quality as we are seeing around it. Look at the voice of the customers, absolutely irrespectively out of the paradigm of the organization. There is the relationship matrix comes around it. But when it comes to the technical requirement, interrelationship, the customer requirement, and the technical requirement of the products that comes around it, what are we looking into? Look here. It is on this axis is customer requirement, and this quadrant tells you about the competitive evaluation. What competitive evaluation? As in what are competitors doing around it? Even they have the customer requirement priorities there set about it, right? So how are they reacting? So you should always take into consideration about your end customer preferences and also the viewpoints that your competitors are taking by the way. So these needs to be taken into account. Let us understand the quality functions of deployment. Now, if you look out here, we have the content deployment coming up along with it with a technical requirement, component characteristic, process operation, and quality plan thereby. So yes, this is the technical requirement of the quality as the case might be. So technical will be bifurcated or segregated into a different part. Let's say the component characteristics. Then comes the process part as to how well can we produce the product with the least bare minimum of the cost or impact that comes around it, so that the quality is not being suffered at come what may. Will explain Motorola's approach. One of the pioneers of process design is Motorola's. Now, therein, Motorola's approach is very simple. First and foremost, they would like to identify a product or a service in which they would love to make an improvisation. Once they have identified the product, then they would love to identify the end customers for that product. Once we have done it, then they will be talking about the technical requirements in terms of who all the vendors could have been, who can be a part and parcel of the process of the production. So identify the suppliers, identify now set up the criteria of the process thereby. So once this has been done, four steps have been done. Remember, first and foremost was identifying the product or service, then probably the end customer. Probably then we are talking about who can partner with Motorola for this journey. Before partnering, they will clarify each process in black and white. Each steps will be minutely detailed around it so that there is no mistakes at least in the process part. And comes the sixth approach, the six steps of development, measuring and controlling and continuously improving as the passage of time. Now this is where we need to understand Motorola's process and probably evaluating are steps arranged in logical sequence. It should not go one first step, then third step, probably then fifth step, then fourth step, then probably sixth step before you come to the second step. It has to be sequential as the flow of the resource materials pass from one item to another item and so on and so forth. Do all steps add value? This is a very pertinent question. It has to add value come what may, each step, each process. If it is not adding value, it means it is a non-necessary step in the first. Can we eliminate that process? Can we eliminate that process altogether? So, or can it be combined if not been eliminated? Should it be reordered? Are capacities in balance? Are everybody working in an optimum capacity? What skills, what equipment, what tools are required for each step? At which point might error occurs and how can they be corrected? At which point should quality be measured as a criteria? What procedures should an employee follow where customers interaction occurs the most? These are the questions that we need to answer is time and again to understand the quality and improvement quality process by chance. So capacities has to be in balance, skills and equipment has to be proper. Any errors that needs to be occurred can be rectified, and how it is to be done in short. So projects, we are talking about initiations of the projects wherein which says about the mission, vision, direction, priorities, limitation, and constraint. Project plan is all about blueprint, resource needed, execution, produce deliverables, close out, evaluate customer satisfaction, provide learning for the future projects as the case might be. This is what we should be talking about in cases of projects, right? Initiation, planning, execution, and closure thereby. So basic component of services. Now we are talking about physical facilities. We are talking about processes, step-by-step processes and procedures that has to be laid out, not only laid out but deliberately followed minutely, absolutely, by each individual employee. Their behavior has to be documented and been mandated as per the company's rules. Employee professional judgment should always be there. Key dimensions of service is all about customer contact. Look what we have done in on and Z axis as the case might be. On the Y axis is the customization and the labor intensity on the X axis. If we look into it and if the parameters are same, I am sure the customers would be thrilled. I am sure the process delivery would be error free. I am sure customization would be as desired by the customer. So yes, what kind of control do we come across with it? The continuing process of evaluating process, performing, taking corrective actions when necessary. This is what we are looking forward. A well-controlled system is absolutely predictable. A well-controlled system is absolutely achievable. We need to only monitor the each components of control system. Let us benchmark them. Let us standardize them. Let us have a goal for each of the processes, means of measuring accomplishment, comparison of the result with standards as a basis for corrective actions per se. This is what we are looking around. After action review, what was supposed to happen? What did actually happen? Why was there a difference and how can we learn around it? These are the after action review that comes around it. So let us state as to what exactly is expected, and if we can predict each step ahead of that time, nothing can go wrong approximately, and that is what we are striving to achieve. Let us talk about the partnering process or the supplier and process or the vendors that will be partnering with us during the manufacturing of the product or in the delivery of these services. Recognize the strategic importance of the supplier. Without them, the business might make a dent into the profitability. So develop a win-win relationship through partnership wherein everybody comes up and makes money for themselves. Establish trust through openness, through honesty, as the case might be. We are talking about partnering processes thereby. Supplier certification system. It's a certified suppliers, one that after extensive investigation is found to be supplying materials of such quality that routinely tests on each lot received is unnecessary. Now, this is what we need to talk about absolutely. So, let us understand what are the certification process that comes around it. Now, Effective, what are the benefits of having an effective partner, effective supplier? So benefits are plentiful, but the most important one is a reduced cost. That means increased profitability. Faster response time to the market is another thing that comes around it. Adaptability, accessibility, and probably innovating based on technology becomes much more easier. There is a reduced supplier risk. In fact, the supplier would be only a part of the process. So we can always keep a monitor about the quality, the quantity, the performance of the supplier. We need to improve the quality then and there. Let us understand the process improvement in terms of traditional industrial engineering and what are the new approaches for TQM or total quality management, as the case might be. In traditional industrial engineering, it is all about productivity movement, improvement. Now, what is productivity? It was always the ratio between input and to output. So more, more the output and lesser the input, it wonders absolutely well for it. So work simplification, as the case might be, stating around here, we are talking about the plan method changes. We are talking about Kaizen in the new approaches. Kaizen is incremental improvisation, incremental improvement every now and then. We are talking about stretching the goals just beyond accessibility, just beyond your limit, probably motivating you to perform much better. We are benchmarking with the best in the industry, best in the company, and this is the only way to keep on continuously improving as Kaizen. And last but not the least would be engineering and re-engineering. Re-engineering the product, re-engineering the process, re-engineering the operations of the company time and again, as the case might be. Kaizen, what does Kaizen says? Kaizen says incremental improvement or gradually and orderly continuous improvement. Minimal financial investment, involvement of all employees, exploit the knowledge and experience of the workers, as the case might be. This is what we are looking out here. Agility. Yes, we are talking about agility. Flexibility is the key word to be focused upon, the ability to adapt quickly, effectively to the changing requirements of the environment, the changing taste of the customer, to the changing availability of the resources. That is what you should be flexible all about it. Cycle time is the time that takes to accomplish one cycle of the process, one batch of the production. There are benefits of improving customer responses. Customers become loyal towards you. There is a steady predictability of the amount or the volume of business that you are going to go around it. Forces process streamlining and simplification thereby. That is what we are looking. Breakthrough improvement is discontinuous changes, result from innovative and creative thinking, as the case might be. Benchmarking, the search for the industry best practices that leads to superior performances. Competitive benchmarking, process benchmarking, and strategic benchmarking, as the case might be. Re-engineering is all about radical redesigning of the process, radical redesigning of understanding of the process for the product and the service, process for the organization, effectiveness, as the case might be. Yes, we are talking about benchmarking. Let us come to the Baldrige Award criteria for process management. Before we wind up this presentation, what are the key points I want to introduce it to the audience? The process management category examines the key aspects of an organization process, including the customer focused design, product, service delivery, key business and support process. This category encompasses all key processes and all work unit, as the case might be. What are we looking into? We are looking into the products, we are looking into the services, we are looking into a design process, production and delivery process, we are talking about the business process. What are we looking into? The support process. With this, we come to an end of this presentation. Thank you for watching this video till the end.